Why did the person you trusted the most end up hurting you the deepest? Why did the one you defended, supported, and stood by become the first one to disappear when you actually needed them? Why does it always feel like the people who promised the most delivered the least? You are not too sensitive. You are not too trusting. You simply learned the truth too late. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor sat alone and wrote words he never intended the world to see. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man alive at his time, spent his private hours documenting one uncomfortable reality: that human beings, no matter how close they stand to you, will almost always act in service of their own nature, not out of cruelty, not always out of malice, simply because that is what people do. He mapped those patterns so precisely that reading them today feels like reading a description of someone you already know. Stay until the fourth truth. It is the one that sounds like a compliment. It is actually the most dangerous trap a person can fall into. The first brutal truth: most people support you only as long as you stay below them. Think about when your life started improving. A new opportunity, a promotion, a relationship that made you genuinely happy. Now think about who quietly disappeared after that. Not enemies. People who called themselves your people. Marcus Aurelius understood this through what he called the inner citadel, the idea that most individuals feel safe only when the people around them are equally limited. When you break that ceiling, you break an unspoken contract. This is not a flaw in you. It is a pattern as old as human ambition itself. The second brutal truth: people show you who they are in small moments, not grand ones. You are waiting for the obvious betrayal, the dramatic exit, the undeniable lie. But that is not how it works. It is the small moments that tell the truth: the way someone reacts when your news is better than theirs, the way they speak about others when they think you are not listening, the way they go quiet when you win. Marcus Aurelius called this observing without expectation. He watched behavior, not promises. What people do in small moments is who they actually are. Words are cheap. Reactions are not. The third brutal truth: loyalty and proximity are not the same thing. Someone can be present every single day and be completely absent when it matters. You have felt this. A person always around, always calling, always available, and then one real moment of difficulty arrives, and they are nowhere. Marcus Aurelius drew a sharp line between what is in your control and what is not. You cannot control who stays, but you can stop mistaking presence for commitment. They are not the same thing. They never were. The fourth truth, and this is the one that will disturb you most: some people get closer to you specifically because you are useful to them. This one arrives disguised as warmth. They call often. They seem genuinely interested. They remember details about your life. But slowly, every conversation circles back to what you can offer: time, connections, energy, resources. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private meditations about the nature of the social animal that most human connection carries a transaction beneath the surface, and that wisdom means seeing that transaction clearly before it costs you everything. This is not cynicism. This is clarity, and clarity protects you. The fifth brutal truth: the people who truly know your worth will rarely announce it. The ones who celebrate you loudest in public are often the ones who resent you most in private. But the ones who genuinely respect you show it differently. In how they remember what you said 3 weeks ago. In how they defend your name when you are not in the room. In how they act when there is nothing to gain. Marcus Aurelius believed that real virtue operates without an audience. And so does real loyalty. The silence of a genuinely loyal person is not emptiness. It is weight. All 5 of these truths share the same root. Human beings are wired for self-preservation first and genuine connection second. When your growth threatens someone's sense of security, Their ego reacts before their conscience does. When your usefulness disappears, so does their investment, because many relationships were never truly about you. They were about what being near you provided. Marcus Aurelius did not teach this to make you bitter. He taught it because a person who understands human nature cannot be destroyed by it. So what do you do with this? First, stop revealing your plans to people who have not yet proven their loyalty through action. Second, watch behavior in small moments, not in grand declarations. Third, ask honestly who would still be present if you had nothing to offer. Fourth, stop performing for people whose respect you will never actually earn. And fifth, protect your inner world the way Marcus Aurelius protected his, quietly, deliberately, without apology. The goal is not to become cold, the goal is to become clear. Weak people spend their lives feeling blindsided by others. Strong ones spend their lives reading others. And there is a massive difference. When you understand why people do what they do, you stop being a victim of it. You cannot be manipulated by something you already see coming. That is not the loss of innocence. That is the beginning of real power. Not everyone who stays is loyal. Not everyone who leaves is an enemy. Not everyone who smiles means it. And the most important truth you will ever learn about people, you find it not in what they say, but in what they do when it costs them something. If this reached something real in you, subscribe now. This channel is for people who want to understand human behavior at its deepest level: dark psychology, Stoic philosophy, the hidden mechanics of betrayal, power, loyalty, and manipulation. The lessons Marcus Aurelius and the great thinkers left behind, translated into truths you can actually use today. Understanding people is not entertainment. It is protection.